took tons of reference photos. First we went to Tendercrop Farm, which is the oldest farm in America, and then we're at Barrington's Stonehouse Pond, which is a beautiful location. You can see behind me. It is gorgeous, and we're just having a great time. We went for a dip, obviously. Today I'm going to talk about how to take good reference photos while you're in the field, and I'm also going to talk about how to paint from those reference photos in a way that makes your work look really good and not amateurish. If you're only interested in how to actually paint from a reference photo, maybe you found a reference photo on the internet, or you've already got one and you're just working on painting from it, you don't want it to look really stiff, then just skip to this part in the video right here. If you're interested in how to take good reference photos while you're out in the field, then stay tuned. Today, you might be a painter of realistic flowers or something like that, but maybe in the near future, you may be inspired to do a study of just leaves, or you may want to try some landscape, or whatever. So if you find something that's inspirational to you, even if it's not really in your wheelhouse, take photos of it, because you never know, like maybe a texture, or maybe a lighting, or maybe you can grab something from that subject matter that you didn't even know you were looking at the time. That being said, try to stay focused on what you actually make paintings of today. So if you're a landscape painter, when you get home you should probably have a library of mostly landscape paintings. Don't go hog wild taking pictures of every little thing that you see just because it's interesting. You can have a few of those inspirational photos, but really have a library of things that you know how to work from already. Make studies on location as often as possible. Any kind of sketch or value study or color study that you can do while you're on location will make a better finished painting. The reason is because cameras can't capture things as accurately as your eyes do. Cameras can distort angles and perspectives. Cameras can wash out colors and destroy details that you see in the shadow and the light areas. So your eye will actually adjust when you look at a dark area of a scene versus a light area of the scene. A camera takes just one picture with one exposure and one camera setting. So unless you take just tons and tons and tons of photos of that location, you really can't make an accurate judgment about the realistic scene. Okay, now we're going to talk about how to actually paint from the reference photo. So tip number one is to paint loosely. One of the number one things that I notice when I'm looking at a painting that's definitely painted from a photograph is that it's so tight. It's so perfect. The artist knew too much. There was no sense of discovery or exploration. They weren't thinking, is this a little more to the right? Is this a little more to the left? Is this a little closer versus a little further away? There was no sense of discovery and exploration. And the viewer can tell that. So I would recommend painting really loosely and then whittling it down to the details. It's sort of like bad acting, like if you're watching a play or a movie and you just are so aware that those are actors playing characters and not the actual characters, the audience can tell. Envision the scene as if it were truly right in front of you. This is a really big tip and it's really hard to learn, so give yourself some patience and some time to work with this idea. But if you imagine that it's a three-dimensional shape, then it will look more three-dimensional in your finished painting and drawing. Your brain is going to come up with ways to actually replicate the three-dimensionality of that object, which is the most important thing. Paintings are an illusion of reality, just like a photo is an illusion of reality. If you believe it has depth, it will have depth in the final work of art. I work primarily from reference photos, so I use these tips all the time. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will catch you next Monday. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.